Week 5, video 2. In this video, we're going to set up the game to be a little bit more complicated. This is where we're at so far. We have moving platforms. We have our character with some basic animation. And as he moves through our various different regions, he's functioning. And now what we need to do is add health, scoring system, enemies, and power-ups. So first of all, because points, enemies, power-ups, health, and the like, that requires keeping a record of numbers. We're going to build 3 global variables. We've discussed variables, so I'm going to do that relatively quickly. So I'm going to right-click in an empty space, add a global variable. I'm going to call the first one health. And we're going to start with a number. We're going to give him maybe 5 health points. Good. Now I can keep making global variables, or I can just copy and paste this one. So I can, or add another variable even. So the next one is going to be ammo. That's how many tweets that our character has. And he's going to start off with 25. So health, ammo, and another variable. And this one's going to be points. So the points that our character can accumulate for gathering nuclear weapons. And we'll start with 0 on points. Good. Now, so what I want to do is I want to put a UI at the top of the screen. And down here in my layers menu, I'm going to lock off my other screens and I'm going to insert 3 text objects. Now I can either, you have to insert separate text objects or clone the text object, because once I have a text, dynamic text that's controlled by data, they all need to be different. So I'm going to go to my screen now, making sure I've got the UI unchecked. What I want to do is I want to keep this score consistent in the top left-hand corner of the game. And I can do that by adjusting the parallax. If you remember, when we have parallax, of course, the camera follows our character and everything moves with him. So if I set my UI layer to 0%, it will remain static no matter where my gameplay is happening. So that's created a static layer. Let's click back on the layer again. You can see it's 0%. Good. Now let's right click where I want to put my text. I'm going to insert new object. And I've got a text object. I'll just click where I want to insert it. Now, because I want to keep the font and everything consistent in size, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone this and then hook it to our different databases. So first of all, let's change our type to white, because it seems like black's going to be pretty hard to read. And I'm going to choose a font. Normally I'd probably import a pixel font, but right now I'm just going to choose a font. So I'm not quite sure what to choose. What Dancing Script looks like. That'll be all right. Okay, I'll click OK. No, I don't like that at all. Sorry, I'm actually going to change it. Let's see what Diavolo looks like. Nah, Droid Sans. Okay, I'll do Droid Sans. Right, and let's have a text size that's readable. To make sure I've got a readable text size, the best thing to do is just play the game and look on the screen. That seems a perfectly reasonable size for my text object. Okay, I'm going to go to my area here and I'm going to start labeling these. So I'm going to rename this. I can either rename it here, or move me across the screen, or I can rename it up here in my properties. I'm going to call this health. And now it's been named health. I can right click and clone it. And now click on health 2, rename it as ammo, and rename ammo as points. It's good to have clear labeling so we at least know how to link everything together. Good. So we've got ammo and points. Let's go back to our screen here. So this one is health. I'm just going to drag my ammo text object onto the screen. It needs room because we're going to generate dynamic text in here. And we're also going to drag the points in. Now, if you want to line these things up, you can just grab all, I'll try to grab all 3. There we go. And I can right click, and I do have an align menu here. So I've got edges. Let's align them to the top, and they all line up nicely. Good. We'll just test this out, make sure it looks all right. Excellent. Right, now let's hook those global variables into our text. So what we want to do is every time the game goes through its circulation, and in game design that's called a tick. So I'm going to add an event, system, every tick. We can do every seconds, but every tick's probably better because it will be circulating the system rapidly. I'm going to put this up at the top of my system here. This is almost my system set up ready for my game to start. So every tick, and then I'm going to go ammo, set text, and inside here, this is the text that's going to appear in my text box. So what I'm going to write here is actually I'm going to write tweets, and then semicolon and a space to give a space. And now I'm going to connect it to that variable. And you do that by using the and symbol, and then the name of the variable spelled the same way. So we go and ammo, and you can see it's being produced here. Done. Let's see how that looks. So now you can see that it's coming up and it's telling us that there's 40 tweets available for the president. Right, so I'm just going to reproduce this for my others. So copy, paste, and paste again, and change some of the, so this is health. And here I'm going to type in health, and then the name of my health variable, which is health. And then I'm going to change the name again. Points. So I'm going to type in score and points spelt the same way. Okay, let's check, see if this is all working by previewing it again. And we've got health, tweets, and score of 0. These 3 need spacing out perhaps later on, but right now that's fine. Don't forget to save. In the next video, we're going to start looking at getting our character to climb a ladder, and he's going to shoot tweets. And we're going to start introducing some power-ups and some points from the nuclear bombs.